You're listening to Adeshokbe Live, the Afrobeats Podcast.
WIZKID'S P-square were legends. They got paid a lot of money. I won't say how much, but they got paid a lot of money. And WIZKID came out. Nobody was expecting it. This was August. So now imagine the growth from February. He dropped his Superstar album in June in Nigeria.
Yep.
And then August he was in the UK for his first maiden edition headline show. WIZKID literally tore up the crowd.
Yeah.
He destroyed. When I say he destroyed, he turned the whole place upside down. Bro, when P-square came on, bro, 4 songs in, bro, everybody was done. Everybody was ready to go home.
Because they had them.
Bro, I don't think you understand.
I remember.
Like,
it was mad.
It was done.
You're listening to Adeshokbe Live, the Afrobeats Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a brand new edition of Adeshokbe Live, the official Afrobeats podcast, where I break down the hottest topics within the culture or being joined by a special guest to break down the culture in itself. As always, big shout outs for all the support, for liking, sharing, commenting. Keep on subscribing to the YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody from Afromedia to LM Studios and, of course, Shoobs.com, which is a fantastic partner of ours, where you can sell your tickets if you're an event organizer looking to sell it out. Whether you've got parties that you want people to come to, concerts that people should come to, you put your tickets on there. A lot of people will go on and buy those tickets. And if you're one of us that just wants to go out and have a great time, you can go on to Shoobs.com and find the absolute fantastic event for you to attend. The tickets are on there. It's a brilliant platform. Make sure you go out there and check it as always. As we say here, get Shoobs in now. Joining me in the studio is an icon of the Afrobeats movement, a brother of mine, somebody that I've tried to get on for a long, long time, not only because of his path and journey in this culture, but also the information that he carries within himself, as well as his expertise. Started to a lot of people as an event organizer, promoter, then moved into media, TV, media relations, and then moved into commercials, directing, producing, executive producing, then moved into creating experiences at concerts.
Is that me? Oh,
bro.
Shoot. Oh, my
Listen,
goodness.
you got to let them know. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up to the incredible Tunde Fini.
Yay! I'm thinking, wow, is that me? Is there somebody else here?
That's one of the reasons why
goodness.
I've always wanted to get you on, because I feel like it's about time that we start to give ourselves these flowers.
Absolutely.
Because, to be frank, other people wouldn't give us.
No, I appreciate that.
Whether the artists that you've worked with or the people within the culture, everybody just acts like, oh yeah,
nothing's happened.
That nothing's happened. Before we get into the culture in itself, I want to talk about your journey.
Yes.
I know I talked about you starting as an event organizer, promoter, before changing gears into TV and stuff. Give us a little rundown as best as you can.
Yeah.
The path and the hats that you kind of like put on within this culture.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Obviously, like you said, it's been a long time coming, and it's always now is always a good time.
Yep.
Before I even go into that, I want to obviously give you your flowers. To be honest with you, you do a lot for the culture. You do a lot for the scene, and you're very, very important to the scene.
I appreciate you.
Like literally, I tell people that, like, listen, Adeshokbe is like the Afrobeats mascot. he wears his cape like no other man. And I want to really appreciate you for what you do and everything you do. Like breaking artists, carrying this whole thing on your shoulder, like it's crazy. And so my journey, I think. I hate talking about myself, but
you have to.
I have to. But my journey kind of like into this whole thing. I've always kind of like liked entertainment. So I started out like getting interested when I was in the Metropolitan. Well, it used to be Guildhall University then. Met up with my very good friend David. He was in Black Knights Entertainment, and kind of like that's where I started hanging out with a group of promoters back then called Black Knights, and then that's kind of like where it started from. I started like going parties with them and stuff like that. So I kind of like, what's this about? Like organizing parties and stuff like that. But I always had my forte has always been in like marketing and seeing how to monetize, you know what I mean, like sponsorships and stuff like that. So that's kind of like how I came into the game. Like, okay, cool. You know, you have a group of guys that, you know, can bring, this was before social media, that can bring 5,000 people, 2,000 people into a venue. Like, the brands will love this. Like, how can we get the brands to come and, you know, tap into what is actually going on here? And so that's kind of like my into the industry. And I kind of like started with Black Nights, and that obviously evolved into us having our TV show.
Yep, on Ben Television.
Yeah, Ben Television.
That I used to watch every Sunday night.
Absolutely.
Loved it.
Shout out to Dutch. Shout out to
Come
Omar.
on, man.
Shout out to David, Baby X, and everybody else that's involved. Cassandra and everybody. And that kind of like evolved. So, you know, doing that. And then I started my company with my business partner now, who's my wife. Abby, who started Phoenix Global Media. And basically, using everything I've learned from, you know, doing that, started a marketing agency, which was like, okay, finding, you know, companies to, you know, work with, you know, different event organizers and stuff like that in terms of sponsorship. And that evolved into, you know, doing TV shows, events, getting into events, organizing. You know, that's how we met Cocoa Bar. I partnered with Cocoa Bar, doing sponsorship for Cocoa Bar and just bringing everything, like all the acquired skills I've learned and bringing it on board. And then that also now evolved into, okay, these artists are coming into the UK to do shows. We're bringing them, like, okay, cool. What about when they come here, they can shoot music videos? So that time, you know, working with a director called Mr. Momusa. That's how we kind of like started. You know, it was like a conveyor belt. So these artists will come and do shows in the UK. And then once they finish, shoot a video. And that became, you know, a monster.
The staple.
It became a monster on its own. And that kind of evolved into doing TV shows and so far and so forth. So that has, with everything I've done, is led me to work with pretty much all the artists.
You saw them from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are some of the names of artists that a lot of people will be surprised to know that you were part of that conveyor belt that put them in the UK, not only on stages here, but also in music videos?
Yeah, I'd say WIZKID, Davido, Burnaboy, Timaya. Listen, actually, everybody. Like, we've worked with everybody, like Patoranking. Patoranking was actually one that was one of my, you know, favorite stories that, you know, like.
I've got a story about him with you that you don't even know.
Oh, shoot. And you know, pretty much everybody, and it was like, you know, beyond doing the music videos, was like, okay, you care about the art, you care about the culture, you care about the scene, so you put a bit more into it than the average. So it was more than shooting music video. It was more than, okay, finding out how they can, when they come to the UK, how do we progress,
maximize
to the next level and stuff like that. And that's kind of like how everything evolved. And from there, so literally, I'm just an all-round guy, man.
Listen,
you know,
I'll tell you this.
Man.
The funny thing is, when I mention some of the stages, like your event organizing stage, your TV show, whatever, every stage, I have followed your path.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate
when you were organizing events with Black Nights, the Nigerian independence parties and stuff, I paid to come to those events.
Wow, that's crazy.
To come and party. Yeah. That was the event that people like myself would look forward to as the one congregation of Nigerians where we could all meet once a year.
Funny
and
enough,
it was thousands.
Absolutely. Smade was actually one of the contestants. That's how he started. It was a contestant of Mr. Nigeria. I think he came third or so. He came third. It was rock. No, it was what's the venue at Elephant and Castle?
The one that eventually was P-square that did the show there last.
He was, Coronet. That's the one. He was Smith started out there, and after that, after the Nigerian independence, he came to me and I was like, starting my own event, and his first event was at a club on Old Kent Road. And you know, came there and it's amazing to see the growth. I've seen a lot, man.
You've seen a lot.
I've seen a lot, man. I've seen a lot.
When you went from the event organizing and you started the TV show, the TV show also became one of the most important parts of my kind of history. Because that was one of the only places where, number one, we saw our stars live on TV.
Absolutely, yeah.
When a P-square was in town, when a Two-Face was in town, we knew that they were in the UK through that TV show, one. And number two, we also got to see them being interviewed on television.
Absolutely.
So it was that one moment once a week that we would sit, maybe it was intro with DJ Abbas.
Yes.
It was yours, Black Nights
Yes.
on Sunday night. We'll
Yes,
sit
and there
down.
was the magazine show.
Magazine show on a
literally,
Saturday.
Literally, that was kind of like the trifecta of and that was kind of like growing, like the scene was still growing and getting used to whatever change was going on,
Yep.
and the involvement, and that's kind of like was part of that journey and stuff like that. So it was a great moment.
It was a great moment.
man.
Now, fast forward coming from organizing events and then setting up Phoenix Media and partnering with Cocoa Bar, the late 2000s into the 2010s.
Yes.
Not only was it at a pivotal time for the Afrobeats movement,
Yes.
because there was a shift starting. We
Absolutely.
had come from a different generation of your two faces and we're just stepping into the new generation. Talk to me about that change. You mentioned something to me that was incredible in terms of how the artists, talking about collaborations with international collaborators, how that has changed.
Yeah, you could literally see how it changed, because I think 2004, 2005 was kind of like the Two-Face era, the Two-Face era, P-square, Star Plus era, and that was kind of like the beginning of that was the time that UK started accepting. It wasn't Afrobeat, it was African music.
Yes.
Afro whatever. Yeah. And you could see that something was going on at that time. That was the first time all these big artists was coming to the UK and doing shows. At that time it was cheaper to bring them, so you could have like Two-Face, Star Plus,
like 5 artists
on one bill and stuff like that. And then obviously that evolved, from that 2000 to 2005 to 2010. Then social media coming in. The band, actually the height of the band in the UK was 2009. Now don't forget there was a reality TV show.
Yes, Coco Mansion that we were watching online
here. It was actually huge in the UK than in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Like it was huge in the UK. Remember, High TV was here at that time. So it was huge in the UK. And on the back of Coco Mansion, the band came in here and did the Coco concert, which was 2009 at the Indigo O2. It was an amazing show, sold out. Shout out Coco Bar, shout out Smade, and ourselves, and that was the beginning of there's something happening here. Fast forward 2010, you started hearing about guys like WIZKID, obviously the bank, the old guys were still holding off the fort, but then you started hearing about guys like WIZKID, something different, something totally different. I mean, you had One Day, and that was the more hits era. Then WIZKID, like, okay, cool, who's this guy and stuff like that. 2011, believe it or not, WIZKID's first show was supposed to be February 2011 at the Indigo 2.
And he couldn't make that.
He missed the show. He missed the show. And then, but he came, he missed the show, but he came anyway. And then we
did
took
clubs.
Him around, took him to
that was when he was at LA Lounge, Hatfield
University and stuff like that. And that's when I met him. I thought, wow, this is amazing. This guy's young. This guy is different. His sound. When WIZKID came to the UK at that time, it was 3 singles deep. Holla at Your Boy, Don't Do, and Tease Me. 3 singles deep at that time, February 2011. And then he went back. He missed the show, he went back. And then that same 2011, came back. Afrobeats Festival, August.
Headlining with P-square.
P-square. I'll tell you a story there. P-square. Iceprince was the man at that time.
Oleku.
He was the man at that time. And then WIZKID. Those were the headliners. I kid you not. WIZKID, P-square were legends. They got paid a lot of money. I won't say how much, but they got paid a lot of money. A lot of money. And WIZKID came out. Nobody was expecting it. This was August. So now imagine the growth from February. He dropped his Superstar album in June in Nigeria. And then August he was in the UK for his first maiden edition headline show. WIZKID literally tore up the crowd. He destroyed. When I say he destroyed, he turned the whole place upside down. Bro, when P-square came on, bro, 4 songs in, bro, everybody was done. Everybody was ready to go home
because they had them.
Bro, I don't think you understand.
I remember. Like it was mad.
It was done. Like we had probably about 5,000 people outside that couldn't get in. It was crazy. But obviously the experience kicked in. Obviously WIZKID, but P-square brought people back and they. But honestly, by the time Whiskey performed, everybody was ready to go home. You know what I mean? And then to see that how that has evolved to where we are now, you know, in terms of collaboration and stuff. At that time, it was unheard of for Afrobeats artists to do collaboration with guys. The only two guys I could remember vividly that did any collaborations at that time was the band with when Kanye West jumped on the song.
Yeah.
But you look at what it cost him. It cost him signing to good music,
Good
which
music
wasn't a bad thing at that time.
And doing international moves, Snoop Dogg,
exactly.
all of that.
You know what I mean? And then obviously the other
P-square.
people, P-square with Rick Ross and Akon, and
Yeah.
that cost them a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Fast forward to the era of WIZKID and them. WIZKID didn't pay Drake nothing to jump on, you know what I mean? Ojo Elegba. And that kind of like evolved to where we are now. Like, look at the gap it's taken, you know, and now it's just
random.
We're
not surprised
we're
anymore.
Not surprised. Like, listen, like, why wouldn't you do a collaboration with Afrobeats artists? That's what we ask now. And it's just like it's now normalized in terms of like doing songs with Afrobeats artists. So yeah, I mean, the scene has come so far, and it's great.
One of the things that I always commend you for, apart from all the experience that you've brought, before we even get to that, you also now started shooting videos for Mo Musa.
Yes.
And ultimately, that partnership became probably one of the biggest music video directorship in Afrobeats.
Absolutely.
Alongside Clarence
Absolutely.
Peters. It was Mr. Mo Musa,
Clarence
Phoenix
Peters.
Mida, and Clarence Peters. That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Talk to me about that time. What was it that let you guys think this was a path and this was something you felt that,
so obviously we all share the office together.
Yeah.
And it just made a natural sense to pivot from doing the event. Like, we already had the artists coming to do the shows. Through Kokoba, we do the events, and the artists are here 4 or 5 days after. Naturally, they want to shoot a video. Now, Mo was already doing little videos in the UK with some UK artists, but nothing with any Afrobeats artists and stuff like that. So it just made sense, and to build that bridge. And my mind was, the way my mind works is very different. Like, so for me, I've always thought, okay, cool. If we're gonna do something, it has to be something different. So what became our signature was like, if you came to us, you were getting something that you hadn't got before, and it would have a stamp of UK in it.
Yeah.
So when you look at all the videos from WIZKID's with EME, Skills, to Timaya,
Davido,
to Skelewu, to all the videos that were shot, they were all different, and it had all like stamps of uniqueness around them. It was very deliberate in terms of the partnership, and it was easy because we were already friends, we were already brothers, so it was easy to just make it work and just get it working. You know what I mean? The relationship was there with the artists, so just getting them to do a song. So they were open to wherever they are. At some point there was a trust there where sometimes we didn't even need to write a treatment. We were just like, okay, cool. We trust the name. We know that these guys are going to just deliver, and that's what led to Caro. That what led to so many Ginger. So many.
You guys now started shooting some crazy videos with mad budgets at that time.
Absolutely. Bro. And the funny thing is, I'll tell you this now. At that time, even though there were mad budgets, we didn't make any money. And it was deliberate because we were more caught up about making
the image
than actually making money. We were making money from other avenues. We were marketing, we were working with different companies here. That was like the primary, what the business did. So for me, this was like fun, and for Mo, he was building his name. So it wasn't a problem when the artist was going to spend 10 grand, 15 grand on a video. Like, we spent everything to make sure that we got something very unique,
quality,
and that translated because every artist that came to the UK, or even
they
if
wanted that,
they flew to the UK to just get that service because they knew, what they were gonna get, and we pretty much Olamide, everybody, we pretty much worked with everybody. So that worked very well in that sense, and and then obviously that translated to me working with different directors, Director Q, Sam Kirk, and stuff like that, and was able to recreate.
What do you see how do you spot directors? Because you mentioned names.
I think it's a synergy between you and the director. Like what one thing a producer does is like, okay, you work with. I mean, I'm a different kind of producer. I'm very hands-on with not just from the time you get the song from the artist.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. How do we translate this song? And you come up with different ideas with the director. Once you agree on an idea, it's now like, okay, the exciting part is like this thing that we decided we're going to do, how do we bring it to life and stuff. So for me, that seeing stuff from inception to finish has always been exciting for me. And you always know a director from you just know. Like there's no, like, you see from the hunger, from the hard work and stuff like that. Mo was like that from the beginning. Q was like that as well. Q used to come and be a runner on our sets.
Wow.
That more like, he used to be like carry boxes and stuff like that. And he used to tell me, Baba, let's walk now. Let's
do this too.
I'm like, guy, just chill, man.
What?
When is your turn? When is your turn? And eventually, it became, he did his thing, and he was doing his thing already. But I just felt like, it would get to a point where it's your time. And when the time came, we started working together. We did a few productions like Omalaji.
With YC, with David O.
Award-winning, gone gold in America.
Come on, man.
David,
talk that
plaques,
talk,
baby.
man.
I'm waiting for my plaque, baby. Oh, shoot. Waiting for my plaques, baby. Went gold in America. That's, amazing. And when you look at all those videos, all of them are unique. Because I like to immerse myself in the creative process to say, okay, we need to give this artist something different and stuff like that. So, yeah,
now the next level, like what I had to talk to you about was in 2018.
Yes.
You reached out to me that you were part of, Phoenix Media and Cocoa Bar were presenting Burnaboy's, big show at Brixton Academy, and you had this vision. You wanted me to be part of the promotions, which was fantastic and stuff. But beyond that, you had started something years before when Burna returned first to the UK.
Yes.
His stage entrances.
Oh yeah. Very proud of that.
Cinematic.
Yes.
And incredible.
Groundbreaking. Never been done before.
Talk to me. If you haven't seen any of Burna Boy's stage entrances in the UK, then you've missed something incredible. You need to go to YouTube and go and check it.
Check it out.
The one in 2016, the narrative was Burna Boy couldn't come to the UK. He had problems with the police and blah, blah, blah. But you guys decided to play on that.
Absolutely.
And you shot a mini video.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so again, this goes down to what we say about, because I believe every artist is unique. Everybody has a story. And for me, it's about figuring out how you tell the story of the artist that coincides, that resonates with the fans, and it strikes a chord. So with Burna Boy, everybody knows his story. He couldn't come to the UK for a long time, but then finally everybody was anticipating him to come, and then finally in 2016, he did come, and I just felt like, okay, cool. How do we? I mean, Burna Boy is a different kind of artist. Probably one of the most different kind of artists I've ever worked with. So the way his mind works complements how I work too. So when he came in, he wanted to do something different and stuff like that. So it was quite easy to say, okay, cool. Let's play on the fact that this. So it was like, okay, cool. You couldn't come in, so let's see, and at that time, what was really hot was Power.
Yeah.
Power was hot. And there was a season where Lobos, the Lobos broke out. That was what that whole thing was inspired about. So I always thought about, okay, cool, what would people resonate with? What would they kind of engage with? And I thought, okay, cool, if we did a kind of like jailbreak out with Burna Boy and that sort of thing, that would work. So that's how we came up with the idea. And came up with the idea and got Q, director Q, wrote the script and everything. Came up. Don't forget, this has never been done before.
Never been done.
Usually artists just come out and sit and say, let's welcome to the stage, WIZKID, and he will just come out and stuff like that. There's no real groundbreaking. And this was the first time it was done, and it came out and it was goosebumps, bro.
It was mad.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I had an out-of-body experience. It was crazy. I remember Julia Denuga was hosting the show in 2016, and I was standing next to her, and she was like, wow. And then she tweeted, this is the best entrance I've ever witnessed in my life before. Like,
crazy.
Even UK artists wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I've always thought to myself, mainstream artists do this. This is normal stuff. But why can't we transfer those things to what we do? You know what I'm saying? So that became part of Burna Boy's brand. You know what I'm saying? And then that obviously made everybody else want to do it. But, so 2016 happened. He didn't do a show in 2017 and then 2018.
Now, one of the reasons why I want to talk about 2018, apart from the incredible entrance again that you shot for 2018, when you had a conversation with me I will never forget that evening. You said to me that, bro, believe me, Burnaboy is a unique talent that's about to shock the world.
Yes.
And just listen to me.
Yeah.
This guy, when the world eventually sees this guy, this guy will go from this side of the world to the other side. He has what it takes to take on your words, from Rihanna to any artist in this world. This guy has that.
That's what I'm about.
Even though I've always been a fan of Burna from the first videos and stuff like that, what I got from you that day, that's why I never forgot. I held on to it like, this belief, like you saw something. What did you see in Burnaboy that I believe 99.9% of the world at that time hadn't seen?
Okay. So apart from obviously hearing music, unreleased music, in 2016 when he did his show, that was probably the first time I'd seen an artist perform incredibly with a live band in sync. His stage performance was impeccable. When I say impeccable, I mean he was performing songs that he hadn't released,
and
the
everybody
crowd
was going
crazy.
Yeah.
And I just saw that and I thought to myself, one of the things that artists, especially at that time, the new miss was like stage performance. They were always good with dropping records and stuff like that. He had that from that time. He was performing songs that for the first time, and people were like, I'm thinking like, this is not normal. There must be more to. He loved the stage. He cared about the art, and he cared about live performance. When I saw that, I just thought to myself, and he already makes good records anyway. So when you add all those elements to it, I just thought to myself, it's only a matter of time. And don't forget, at this time, Nigeria wasn't appreciating Burnaboy. Nigeria wasn't appreciating him.
It was until the day after the Brixton Academy show when we dropped those viral videos that Nigeria said, there's a problem.
It was even worse in 2016. You know, because, listen, the fact of the matter is like Burnaboy, Nigeria hadn't seen an artist like Burnaboy. He wasn't part of the status quo. He would speak his mind. He would go against the grain. That's kind of artist he was from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So the press wasn't his friend. He wasn't considered to be brand friendly. You know, the odds was against him. Apart from the fact that he dropped good music, we always knew
he wasn't getting anything else.
Getting into trouble, or you say something and
then press will blow it up.
They want to blow it up and just. He came to the UK and I saw something different. I just knew that he's gonna pivot. He's gonna get better. This was the first time he was performing with his band, the so-called Outsiders. Now, for me, that moment, if I wasn't a believer, I was a believer straight on from that moment, and I just followed his career from that moment on. And I only knew he was gonna get bigger and bigger. Like I'm actually not surprised of where he was. Grammy, I expected it. It wasn't like it was gonna be. It was only a matter of time. I knew it was gonna be the first one because I saw. Not to take anything away from the other artists, but he was different. It was different in a cult, in a cult way.
He had a cult fan base.
A cult fan base at that
every time.
And that's what wins you stuff. It wasn't considered commercial like everybody else. And when he came to the UK, HMV Apollo sold it out. He wasn't hot at that. Usually artists come to the UK when
they're in flames. He just came because he had to come back.
He came at that time. People bought into him, and I just knew that he's got 5,000 people here. He's going to multiply this 5,000 into many more thousands going down the line. So I was sold from then, and 2018 was just like, bro,
that was the red carpet.
Let's just carry on from where. Let's just carry on. You know what I mean? And then it was, and then just from
like
there.
One of the reasons why I always every time. Personally, I've always spoken to you. I message you personally. Every time Burna has any level of success, I always congratulate you because not only for your vision and for vision of identifying his special sauce he had, but your belief that he was about to carry the mantle to a next level.
Absolutely.
But also the way you believed in his music. When Killing Them dropped,
Yes.
I messaged you.
Yes.
Because he dropped it when he was about to do a show in Lagos during Christmas.
Yes.
Nobody was playing it.
Yes.
And you were on your Instagram saying this record did it. I now messaged you. I said, can you tell them to send me this? You said, yeah. You got the record and sent it to me before people were playing that record. But you knew that record was about to change.
Honestly, I knew at that time that was the biggest collaboration that year and probably the following year.
Damn.
Because for starters, this was Burnaboy maturing into his confidence. Finally, I can admit now, people now understand who I am. He's been great for a long time. Don't get it twisted. When Burnaboy was doing,
when he was doing Like to Party, he was
the guy.
Yeah.
It was just that every other thing else was not letting people see the greatness in him. Now, at that point in 2018, when he dropped, I knew that, okay, cool, you've shared that stuff. People can now see beyond all that stuff and just focus on the music. Like, okay, Burna is going to be Burna. He's the fella of our time. He's the activist of our time. Let's just accept him. Let's look at the music. When he dropped that song, at that time as well, Zlatan was new. Yeah. And I just felt like my favorite rapper of all time in Nigerian music is Olamide and, Reminisce. When Zlatan came, I thought, this guy gives me that Jay-Z vibe.
He brought something else.
Yeah, he gave me that. He brought his own interpretation into the game because that whole Yoruba rap, it's been done over the city. Everybody, there's different, there's been different people doing it. But he gave me a different vibe. Now, putting Burna Boy, who is already there, with this new voice in the hip-hop scene together, I just thought to myself, what I'm hearing, it's not here. This is gone. From the first, I'm not kidding.
Trust
you, bro.
me, I know. It was your story that made me ask for the song.
From the first time I heard that song, I thought, this is a collaboration of the year. There's nothing touching this. And I just felt like the fusion of both of them together, where they were at the time together, was magic.
They just went to the next level.
I don't even think they thought it was that.
Yeah. I thought they felt it was like a throwaway record.
Let's do it, let's just do it.
Let's just do it to keep the buzz going.
Whatever. But even before I knew that, that record was just based on where Burna Boy was and the fact that, okay, this is a new voice. You know what I mean? Because the first time I heard Zlatan was on Able God. Yeah. I didn't know. I wouldn't claim to know. Yeah. So from Able God to Killing Them, I just thought to myself, this guy is got something. And I just felt like, okay, where African Giant was with him, magic. I knew it.
Now, coming off of that, the scene exploded. Burna Boy touring the world, concerts, all sorts of stuff going on.
He lives for the stage.
He's like, I told you before.
I'm sorry, that nobody tours more than Burna Boy. Like, if it wasn't for the pandemic, he was killing everybody. He loves touring. That's where he feels more
on
home.
Stage. On stage. He's cooked. He's overcooked.
He leaves everything on stage.
Overcooked.
Don't worry, if you go to a Burna Boy concert, no matter the price, people pay the price because Burna Boy show.
You get it.
You get you will know. The man puts in a shift. Hey, where's the camera?
That's the camera.
Hey, listen to me, baby. Burna Boy puts in the shift, baby. Listen, don't play. Whatever the price of the ticket is, you leave that. You leave the show. You know that.
Fully loaded.
My man put in the shift, and that's
barely
full.
It
drops everything on stage.
Absolutely.
So you can't play when it comes to live performance. Nobody can touch him. I'm sorry.
Talk to me now. After the 2018 incredible year, not only for Burna, for people like yourselves that have put in so much and stuff.
You're listening to Adeshokwe Live, the Afrobeats Podcast.